civil servant within the system of Nebuchadnezzar. But right there we saw the word of wisdom operating. We saw the gift of prophecy operating. We saw the nation running into a problem just like Joseph. And the nation didn't know the way out of the problem. And Joseph and Daniel would say, let us go and pray. Or they went there and came with the word of knowledge. So word of knowledge doesn't necessarily mean operating in it. It's not confined to me standing behind the pulpit and saying that there's somebody here, you were born in this place. It's not confined to that. We need word of knowledge to operate in the field of medicine. Are you following what I'm saying here? We need medical doctors that will know things by word of knowledge. Let me tell you this story here. My sister, all right, had we later on found out, twisted intestine in Lagos here. So they had to rush her because my parents were doctors. So they had to rush her because my father had been a doctor for years. Listen, the person who came to pick her in Lagos and sat in the ambulance with her was the former head of surgery, UCH, who was now working in King's Fahd Hospital in Saudi. Was my father's friend. He sat holding the drip, telling my father he must monitor her. They got to UCH. Some of my father's friends came out of retirement. None of them could operate because they weren't sure. They didn't want her to die in their hands. They just kept going back. It was a medical doctor who worked under them. All right, back then he's now a Professor Adegboye. All right, he was the one. He told my father, he said, I will go and pray. He said, I will go and pray. Nobody could touch her. He said, I will go and pray. All the surgeons with gray hair back then lined behind him. He came back. He said, God said to me clearly, the road is clear. Let's move. All of them followed him into the operation. When he opened her, my sister told me this, the anesthesia had not worked fully. So she was still conscious, but she wasn't feeling the pain. He was the one that caught her. The rest stood behind him watching. As he brought her intestine out, said, how come she's still alive? So we need that. We don't need to take a doctor operating with word of wisdom, word of knowledge, and convert them. All right, let's welcome Pastor May. All right, I didn't know you were around. All right, let's welcome her. All right. Let me just shine small. We went to the same secondary school. I just started to. All right. So we don't need to convert them. You can be a lawyer and you get into a case. Listen to me, and you stand before the judge. And as Job said, when I opened my mouth, it was as dew from heaven that came out. And you find senior advocates asking you, just like Elihu. Elihu said, I listened to you people. I found no answer in your mouth, but you condemned Job. That, listen, there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth unto him understanding.